Good morning, everybody. This video is a contribution to the novel class to help you to read and understand Hemingway's novel, The Old Man and the Sea. Our discussion today will focus mainly on the setting of the novel and the characterization of the main character of our novel, The Old Man or Santiago. Let's begin with the first paragraph. In the first paragraph, we're told that he was an old man who fished alone in a skiff in the Gulf Stream, and he had gone 84 days now without taking a fish. This first sentence says a lot. First of all, the main character is referred to with a he. That is to say, this is a third person pronoun, which means this is a third person narrator. So if you're asked about what point of view do you have here, remember that we have an omniscient third person narrator. So our narrator is an omniscient third person narrator who refers to the characters by using he, she, they, etc. The narrator in the first paragraph introduces the main character to us, that is the character of the old man. He was an old man who fished alone. So he is what? He's a fisherman, and he used to go fishing alone in a skiff, and a skiff is a small boat, where in the Gulf Stream, and he had gone 84 days now without taking a fish. The Gulf Stream is a small gulf in Cuba. So elements of setting are getting clearer here. Now we know we are in Cuba. We know that part of the setting is going to be the sea and the skiff of the old man. And we are told a little bit about the situation of the story. Now, what if you remember, what is situation? Situation is an element of exposition. Situation is an element of exposition, if you remember, and situation tells us what the novel is going to be about. So, situation is an element of exposition, and remember, exposition is usually found in the first paragraph or in the first two paragraphs of the story. So, part of the situation of the novel is that this old man who goes fishing alone could not catch a fish for 84 days so far. In the first 40 days, a boy had been with him. So another character is being introduced here. It is the character of the boy. The boy used to accompany him. So the boy was with the man for the past 40 days, and both of them could not catch one single fish. But after 40 days without a fish, the boy's parents had told him that the old man was now definitely and finally sallow, which means he is unlucky, he is cursed, he is unlucky, which is the worst form of unlucky. And the boy had gone at their orders, his parents' orders, in another boat. So, who is the boy? The boy is the person who used to go with the old man for 40 days trying to catch a fish, but his parents, the boy's parents, ordered him to find another fisherman to go with instead of the old man, because the old man is unfortunately unlucky or even cursed. Now, the fact that the boy looks for another boat suggests that the boy goes with fishermen because he is trying to learn how to become a fisherman. Okay, so the boy goes with another boat, and that boat actually was lucky because it managed to catch 3 good fish the first week. It made the boy sad to see the old man come in each day with his skiff empty, and he always went down to help him. Now, look, these two lines somehow tell us a little bit about the boy and the man's relationship. It saddened the boy to find that the old man comes every day with an empty boat. And every time the old man comes from his fishing trip, the boy hurries to help him. So it is a friendly relationship actually which joins the old man and the boy. Okay, so he is the boy, he always went down to help him, to help the old man carry either the coiled lines or the gaff or the harpoon and the sail that was furled around the mast. The reference here is definitely to all the fishing equipments or tools, if you wish, primitive tools, simple tools the old man uses to fish. The sail was patched. The sail, the white sail of the boat, which is usually made of cloth. The sail was patched with flour sacks and furled. It looked like the flag of permanent defeat. This line is highly symbolic. First, the sail of the old man's boat is not made of solid cloth or thick cloth. It's patched. It's patched with flour sacks. Flour, tahine, flour sacks. It's patched, which tells you the sail is too old, and the old man's boat seems to be a very poor and old boat. This reflects on the financial status of the old man, that he himself is a very poor fisherman. And the sail was furled to look like a flag, but not a flag of victory. It is a flag of defeat. So this is symbolic. This suggests the defeat. This suggests the old man's defeat. He is defeated by the sea. He cannot catch one single fish. So, in the first paragraph, we're actually introduced to the two characters, the main character, the old man, and the boy, who's going to play also an important role in our novel. We're also introduced to the setting. We are in Cuba. We are in some coastal village, apparently, and we are introduced also to the situation, what the novel is going to be about. It seems that this is the story of an old man, an unlucky old man who could not catch a fish for 84 days. So, in other words, in this first paragraph, you have the three elements of exposition. You have reference to the characters, introduction of the characters, you have an introduction of the situation, and you have an introduction of the setting. Now we're told a little bit or more about the old man. Do you remember our earlier discussion about characterization? Let me just refresh your memory a little bit. Now, when it comes to characterization, the characters are usually introduced to us directly or indirectly. We said if a character is introduced directly, we can read what a character says, what a character does, or what a character thinks. If the character is introduced indirectly, then we have another character who tells us about this character. Okay? Now, there is another important point. In terms of characterization, usually we have description, okay? Usually we have description of 2 points. We have description of the physical features of the character, physical features, and you have description of the personality of the character. So again, in terms of characterization, a character is described or introduced to us in different terms. Either we have a physical description of the physical features of the character, or we have description of the personality of the character, or we might have both. Let's see which do we have in this novel. Now, if you move to the second paragraph, we're told that the old man was thin. and gaunt with deep wrinkles in the back of his neck. So he's what? He's old and he's gaunt with deep wrinkles. His face is covered with wrinkles, which are signs of old age. His face and his neck covered with wrinkles, which are signs of old age. And he was old. The brown blotches of the benevolent skin cancer the sun brings from its reflection on the tropic sea were on his cheeks. So you can see spots, dark spots on his cheeks, which are caused by the sun. And actually, the reference here, the word cancer here is not the usual cancer that we know nowadays as a disease, but the reference here is to skin cancer, to those dark patches or dark spots caused on the old man's cheeks because of the sun. The blotches ran well down the sides of his face, and his hands had the deep creased scars from handling heavy fish. His hands have scars from carrying and trying to catch heavy fish on the cords, the ropes that he uses in fishing. So there are even scars. There are scars in his hands. There are dark spots or patches covering his cheeks, and there are wrinkles covering his face and his neck. What do you call this? You call this physical description. Okay, this is the physical description of the character. But none of these scars, the scars on his hands, were fresh, which means now those scars were caused by catching heavy fish and pulling cords or ropes in fishing. But none of these scars were fresh, which means they were not fresh, means they were old scars, which suggests that it has been a long time since the old man managed to catch any fish. They were as old as erosions in a fishless desert. This is beautiful and desperate metaphor at the same time. In a fishless desert, the sea is compared to a desert where everything is dead, where you can find nothing. So the old man has been unlucky. He couldn't catch any fish, as if the sea for him is no more than a desert. Okay? Everything about him, everything about the old man was old except his eyes, and they were the same color as the sea and were cheerful and undefeated. Now, in the previous paragraph, we have a clear description of the physical features of the old man, description of his face, his neck, his cheeks, the scars on his hands. But still, we have another aspect of this physical description, and that is the description of his eyes. There are 2 points here to emphasize. His eyes had the color or have the color of the sea. They are as beautiful as the sea. His eyes were not sad, despite the fact that he has been unlucky for 84 days. His eyes were cheerful and his eyes were undefeated. The point here that you have both a description of the eyes, a physical description of the eyes, but you also have a description of the old man's personality. His eyes have the color of the sea, suggests that the man and the sea are almost one. The man and the sea are friends, despite the fact that he has not caught any fish for 84 days. Well, his eyes identify with the sea. We're going to see later on how the old man treats the sea as a beloved. He loves the sea. He loves talking to the sea. At the same time, the old man's eyes are cheerful. They are happy eyes. They are undefeated, which reflects something about the old man's personality, not just physical description. He is undefeated. He is brave. He is patient. He is undefeated. He never stops fishing. Every morning he goes on a fishing trip, hoping that he will be able to catch some. Now, we realize as we go on reading that the old man is very patient and he's very strong and he can never be defeated. So, this part here, this description of the old man's eyes says much about his personality. Notice so far in the first and second paragraphs, we were not told the old man's name. And this is well known about Ernest Hemingway, that he loves to introduce his characters as mysterious identities in order to engage us more and more in the story, to encourage us to read more and more until we are introduced to the old man's name, and that is Santiago. Santiago, the boy said to him as they climbed the bank from where the skiff was. Hold up. I could go with you again. We've made some money. Now, the boy knows very well that his relationship with the old man will never come to an end. The boy managed to catch some fish with the other fishermen. So he is hopeful about the future. He is hopeful that one day he will fish again with the old man. The old man had taught the boy to fish, and the boy loved him. Well, this sentence says much about the old man and the boy's relationship. Now, the old man taught the boy to fish. This is what? This is teacher-student relationship. The old man is a teacher for the boy, and the boy is his student. The old man had taught the boy to fish, and the boy loved him. So, here in terms of teaching, it's teacher-student relationship. The fact that the boy loved the old man suggests actually father-son relationship. Okay? Now, no, the old man said, you're with a lucky boat, stay with them. Obviously, the old man appreciates the boy's parents' wish to stay with a lucky fisherman. The old man knows so far he is unlucky, so he encourages the boy to stay with the other fishermen. But remember how you went 87 days without fishing or without fish, and then we caught big one every day for 3 weeks? What does this suggest? The boy here is reminding the old man of the fact that they went through a similar experience before, and both of them could not catch a fish for 87 days, but finally they became lucky. So obviously, the life of the old fisherman is a life of despair and hope, but this has never made him desperate. Okay. Does the old man remember the previous experience? Obviously, he does. Let me adjust my camera a little bit. He says, I remember. He says, I remember, the old man said. I know you did not leave me because you doubted. The old man says, I know you did not leave me because you doubted my abilities, which means the old man knows very well that the boy believes believes in the old man. He believes in the old man, and the old man knows that very well. He knows that the boy left him because his parents forced him to do so. It was Papa made me leave. I am a boy and I must obey him. I know, the old man said. It is quite normal. He hasn't much faith. Who hasn't much faith? Papa, the boy's boy, but the boy has great faith in the old man. No, the old man said, but we have, haven't we? Which means we have a strong faith. We and you know very well that finally or eventually I will be able to catch fish. Yes, the boy said, can I offer you a beer on the terrace? Now, the terrace here is the name of the cafe where all fishermen go to drink a beer. The boy says, "Can I offer you a beer on the terrace and then we'll take the stuff home?" The old man accepts the boy's invitation and he says, "Why not?" Okay. He says, "Why not?" The old man said, "between fishermen." Okay. They sat on the terrace, and many of the fishermen made fun of the old man, and he was not angry. Now, many fishermen laughed at the old man. We come to learn immediately from the following line. Others of the older fishermen looked at him and were sad, which means the fishermen who laughed at the old man were actually younger fishermen or young men. Those are younger fishermen who laughed at the old man. However, older fishermen sympathized with the old man and they looked at him with a great sadness and sympathy. What does this tell you? This tells you that younger fishermen did not appreciate the old man's efforts to catch a fish for 84 days. However, older fishermen felt sorry for him and they sympathized with him, probably because they went through similar experiences. Okay, let's read this again. They sat on the terrace, and many of fishermen made fun of the old man, and he was not angry. Why he was not angry? Because he is a very patient man. Others of the older fishermen looked at him and were sad, but they did not show it, and they spoke politely about the current and the depths they had drifted their lines at, and the steady good weather and of what they had seen. So apparently, the older fishermen respected the old man and they talked about usual stuff, usual topics that fishermen would talk about, such as the weather, the current, and so on. However, younger fishermen lacked such experience, lacked sympathy. That's why they laughed at the old man. The successful fishermen of that day were already in and had butchered their marlin. Marlin is a kind of fish, remember that. Well, we are told here that other fishermen were so successful and they managed to catch fish. They butchered their marlin out and they carried them, laid full length across two planks, with two men staggering at the end of each plank to the fish house. They butchered their fish and they took it to the fish house where they waited for the ice truck to carry them to the market. So this is how it goes. Fishermen catch fish, they butcher it, they take it to the fish house. Then there are ice trucks which take this fish to the market, where in Havana, the capital city of Cuba. Those who had caught sharks had taken them to the shark factory on the other side of the cove. Let me stop here. Now, some men caught marlin, men who caught marlin or fish, generally speaking, they take it to the fish market. Fishermen who caught sharks, they took sharks to the shark factory. This tells us something important about the fish market or fish industry in Cuba. At the time when Hemingway wrote this novel, the fish market in Cuba, or the fish industry, was very strong and very famous, and it was a major source of income to the country. I need to remind you here that Hemingway spent the last period of his life in Cuba and in a fishing village, actually. That's why he knows a lot about fishermen and the fishing industry in Cuba. Now, the shark industry was very important in Cuba because sharks, or oil of sharks, was very important, and most of it was exported to the United States for American dollars. So oil shark or the oil of sharks was very important source of income for people in Cuba. Okay, so those who had caught sharks had taken them to the shark factory on the other side of the cove, where they were hoisted on a block and a tackle, their livers removed. This is another point. Okay, their livers removed, their fins cut off, fins زعانف, liver الكبد, their fins cut off, and their hides skinned out, and their flesh cut into stripes for salting. So every single part of the shark was used. Now the liver is probably the most important part. The liver is the most important part because it is that part of the shark from which oil is extracted or oil is taken. When the wind was in the east, a smell came across the harbor from the shark factory. But today there was only the faint edge of the odor of the smell because the wind had backed into the north and then dropped off, and it was pleasant and sunny on the terrace. Okay, this is part of the setting. We are now on the terrace. Now, this brief dialogue goes between the boy and Santiago, the old man. Santiago, the boy said. Yes, the old man said. He was holding his glass and thinking of many years ago. Can I go out to get sardines for you for tomorrow? Now, what about sardines? Sardines are a small fish used as a bait, طعم. يعني fishermen used sardines as a bait to catch bigger fish. Part of the help that the boy offers to the old man is to get him some sardines, which the old man can use tomorrow for a new fishing trip. The old man responds, no, go and play baseball. I can still row, and Rogelio will throw the net. I would like to go. If I cannot fish with you, I would like to serve in some way. Notice that the boy knows very well that he cannot go with the old man for fishing, but he loves to serve him. Notice how the student loves to serve his master, how the apprentice, المتدرب, how the apprentice, okay, how the apprentice loves to serve his master. Okay, does the old man accept? Let's see. You bought me a beer. The old man said, you are already a man, which means I don't want you to serve me. You are a man now. How old was I when you first took me in boat? The boy asks the old man how old I was when I joined you, and the old man answers, 5, and you nearly were killed when I bought the fish in 2 green, and he nearly tore the boat. He is a reference to the fish, the big fish he caught years and years ago when the boy was only 5 years old. I want you to remember this. Whenever the old man talks about fish, the marlin or the shark, he never uses it. He refers to them as he or she. So the old man says 5. So the boy was 5 years old when he first joined the old man in his first fishing trip. 5, and you nearly were killed when I bought the fish in 2 green, and he, that is the fish, nearly tore the boat to pieces. Which means it was a big fish. It almost wrecked or damaged or destroyed the boat. Can you remember? The boy says, I can remember the tail slapping and banging and the thwart breaking and the noise of the clapping. I can remember you throwing me into the bow where the wet coiled lines were and feeling the whole boat shiver. The whole boat was shaking because it was a big fish that they caught. And the noise of you hitting the fish to kill it, like chopping a tree down, and the sweet blood smell all over me. Notice that For the boy, it was not a painful memory. It was not a terrifying memory. Although it was a very big fish and it almost destroyed the boat or even killed the boy, the little boy, as the old man tells us. However, for the boy, it was a pleasant experience. He loved it. Now, he says what? He says the sweet blood smell. The smell of the blood is a sweet for, or was a sweet for the boy. So it was a happy memory for the boy. Can you really remember that, or did I just tell it to you? Well, the old man wonders how come the little boy remembers all the details. So he wonders if he himself told the boy the details before. And the boy answers, let me adjust my camera a little bit. The boy answers, I remember everything from when we first went together. The old man looked at him with his sunburnt, confident, loving eyes. Notice, loving eyes. The old man loves the boy. He looks at him with loving eyes. If you were my boy, I'd take you out and gamble, he said. But you are your father's and your mother's, and you are in a lucky boat. Let me stop here a little bit. Well, obviously that the old man doesn't have a family. He tells the boy, if you were my boy, I would do this and that. Somehow this is an early hint towards the fact that the old man is lonely. The old man does not have a family. We will learn more details about this later on. May I get the sardines? Obviously, the boy still insists to get the sardine for the old man. I know where I can get 4 baits. Notice, baits. He is using sardines as a bait too. I have mine left from today. The old man insists that he has his own sardines left from today. Why he still have sardines? Because the old man did not manage to catch any fish, so he still have bait. I put them in salt in the box. Let me get 4 fresh ones. 1. The old man said he doesn't want 4 sardines. It will be fine if the boy gets him only 1 sardine. 1. His hope His hope and his confidence had never gone, but now they were freshening as when the breeze rises. This is very important. His hope, the reference is to the old man's hope. The old man's hope and his confidence in what? His confidence in his skill as an experienced fisherman. The old man is confident of himself. He has confidence in himself. He knows very well that he is skillful and he is hopeful. Okay, his hope and his confidence had never gone, but now they were freshening as when the breeze rises. As the breeze, the nice, lovely, sweet breeze rises, the fisherman, the old man, is more hopeful. The boy insists to get 2 sardines. So he says 2, the boy said. 2, the old man agreed. You didn't steal them. He's worried about the boy. He's worried about the fact that he might have stolen the sardines. So the boy says, I would, the boy said, but I bought these. What does this tell you? This tells you that the boy managed to catch fish with the other lucky boat. That's why he sold the fish and he has money. So he bought the sardines out of his own money. Somehow this is ironic. The little boy is luckier than the old man. The little boy managed to catch fish, to sell his fish, and to have money. Now, the old man is grateful. He says, thank you, the old man said. He was too simple to wonder when he had attained humility. Okay, humility, tawadu. The old man is so, or has attained humility. It comes with old age, obviously. But he, that is the old man, knew he had attained it, and he knew it was not disgraceful, and it carried no loss of a true pride. This is a very important sentence. Now, the old man has gained much humility, but this humility does not contradict true pride, which means he is humble, بمعنى متواضع. Okay, the old man is humble, but he is proud, and these two do not actually contradict each other. Tomorrow is going to be a good day with this current, he said. Where are you going? The boy asked. Far out to come in when the wind shifts. So the old man, the old man tells us that tomorrow he is going to go to the sea one more time, and he is going to make use of the wind. Far out to come in when the wind shifts. I want to be out before it is light. Before it's light, يعني before this suggests before sunrise. So his journey is going to start in the darkness at dawn. Okay, it's going to start obviously at dawn, in the fajr, before it is light. I will try to get him to work far out, the boy said. Then, if you hook something truly big, we can come to your aid. He does not like to work too far out. Well, the boy said. Now, who doesn't like to work far out? This is the other fisherman with whom the boy works. But we know very well, we come to know later on, that the old man goes far away into the sea. He sails deeper into the sea to catch his fish. No, the boy said, but I will see something that he cannot see, such as a bird working, and get him to come out after dolphins. Now notice there is a reference to dolphins, a reference to birds, which are going to be mentioned later on as the old man sails deeper and deeper into the middle of the sea. He is going to catch dolphins, and he is going to talk to birds who come to have a rest at his boat. Are his eyes that bad? He is almost blind. Now notice, here it is the boy the boy is talking about the old man. Although the old man is there in front of the boy uses he, the third person pronoun he, to talk about the old man. Okay? So the boy wonders if the old man's eyes are getting bad or getting worse because he's getting older and older. He is almost blind. It is strange, the old man said. He never went turtling. Turtling is used as a verb here, and it means to catch, to catch turtles. He never. Now the old man is talking about himself. He is responding to the boy. He tells him that the old man, that is himself, never caught turtles. We are going to be told later on that the old man hated to catch turtles. The old man caught only fish, sharks, marlins, and dolphins, and he hated to catch turtles. So he never went turtling. That is what kills the eyes. This is a belief. The old man believes that if you catch turtles, you are going to lose your eyes. So he hated to catch turtles. But you went turtling for years off the mosquito coast, and your eyes are good. I am a strange old man, but are you strong enough now for a truly big fish? The boy obviously is worried about the old man. Look what he says. But are you strong enough now for a truly big fish? You are too old, you are too weak. Can you really catch a big fish? The old man is confident. I think so. And there are many tricks. Actually, the old man is a very skillful fisherman. He has many tricks. He uses many tricks to catch big fish. Let us take the stuff home, the boy said, so I can get the cast net and go after the sardines. Thank you, guys. This is today's class. See you tomorrow.